Well, hello. It has been a while since we've met like this. um, yeah, I kind of just fell off the face of the earth. I know, like, someone even commented at one point asking, like, hey, is everything alright? Like, I haven't posted in a while. I saw that comment, but honestly, at the time, it was just replying was not a priority at all. Uh, yeah, what happened last year was just school got really busy. I'll just be honest, these videos were never a priority for me. They're just something I did because they were more fun than anything. So once school got really busy and I realized that those 30, 40 minutes a day I was spending on these videos wouldn't be something that I could manage anymore, I just like let it drop and I just focused on schoolwork because classes got really hard really fast. Um, so yeah, a lot happened. Unfortunately, that will never make it onto camera. Some things, honestly, I'm glad I don't share. Other things, bummer, because I'm sure a lot of fun stuff happened too. I had some good memories of like staying up until like 3, 4 a.m. with my friends, just working on like physics assignments. It was fun. It really was. It was very tough though, very very difficult. I remember like in second semester I was very frustrated because I was just losing points left and right, just for seemingly no good reasons. Like I would like submit the assignment and be happy with it, and then like part of it would be wrong, and I'd lose like so many points, and just my grades really started dropping fast too. And like I was doing my best to maintain them, but still, it was just very very challenging. And then also, I'm sure that right around the time I stopped making videos is when midterms started, or when midterms really picked up. Like last year, I had basically 10 weeks straight of midterms, like because there were several classes had 2 midterms, so and it was just all spread out, and basically I had all of the schoolwork to deal with within a midterm, or like projects that would also just pop in right in the middle of everything. It was just really a lot. Um, Anyways, I ended the year fairly well. I'm happy enough with my grades. Of course, always room for improvement, but decent grades for first year especially. Uh, so I am okay with how things ended. I am bummed a bit that I didn't have the time to make these videos, or more so than anything, I'm more bummed that I didn't try to make them. You know, if I tried, I probably could have. Not consistently, definitely not, because it really was a lot of work. But I definitely could have at least made the videos. But it's okay. I am back this year. These will not be daily uploads. That is not happening. My course load this year is going to be even worse. But I am going to try to do weekly uploads, more or less. It will be uneven, inconsistent. It will just be whenever I feel like it, whenever I have time for it, because it's just it's too much. It really is. Like those extra 30, 40 minutes really play a big role. It's either like 30, 40 minutes that I'm able to spend actually relaxing, or it's 30 like minutes that I can spend studying. And unfortunately, every minute counts in university. So I will not be doing these as daily uploads, but from time to time I'll be checking and being like, hey, shit's hard. I'm doing my best. See you guys. But yeah, with that out of the way, I'll talk about my first week and a half ish. No, honestly, just basically my first week of university back so far. Um, I'm not living in a dorm. I'm living in my own apartment, which I really like. I'm good friends with my roommate. It's honestly, like looking back on the videos, it was so funny how it gave everyone fake names, because now if I want to keep anything going, I need to remember what names I gave them. My roommate, The Way, is with me here. I'm good friends with him and we're doing great. Um, I am cooking for myself. I meal prep for the week because eating out is gonna rack up very quickly, very fast. Plus, even though I'm not a professional chef or anything, or even like decent, I still think what I cook will taste better than store bought or just eating out. So I'm happy with my meal prep so far. I'll just show a couple of clips right now. Like for the first week, I just made myself some chicken and potatoes. It was really good. The potatoes took a really long time to cook though, like new oven and everything. But yeah, it took like well over an hour for the potatoes to finish, and even then some of them are undercooked. But that's okay. And then for the second week, I made myself, which is the week I'm currently in right now, I made myself some pasta with chicken. and then some rice with shrimp. And I'm still eating leftover potatoes because I overdid it. So yeah, food is good. I do find that I'm still hungry quite a lot, or not hungry quite a lot, but I eat quite a lot. Like I get hungry quickly, and I'm not sure if it's just because of like moving around a lot and thinking a lot. But the dining hall was definitely convenient last year. Like anytime I got close to hungry, just go out and eat. Now like I basically have to plan my meals and plan like how many calories I'm going to be eating. Earlier today, I went to the store, and honestly, I was like picking between 2 packs of cookies. And then I looked at one of them and it said it had like 30 more calories per cookie, and I chose that one just simply for the calories. I was ambivalent to either choice, but then I saw the more calories, so I chose those those cookies. Um, yeah, other than that, classes have started. Like they're finally picking up a bit. Some of them I like so far. I have a differential equations class, like a mathematics class, which I really like because it's fairly challenging. I believe like the professor, actually I'm not sure if the class is challenging or the way the professor teaches is challenging, because the content doesn't seem that terribly difficult, but the professor is smart and she jumps steps a lot when working. So like I have to go back afterwards, to be honest, and look over the work that we did during the lecture and try to understand how we got from one place to another, because uh we got a smart prof. But it's still my favorite class at the moment, I would say. Then I guess on the opposite end, I have multivariable calculus, which is being taught over Zoom. Uh, I don't know whose idea that was. I am still very unhappy about that because every Zoom lecture is 50 minutes basically of wasted time. I'm learning like 2 topics a day at most, and it's just super slow. People are asking like a bunch of questions, a bunch of stupid questions too, and the professor like has to answer them basically. Or maybe they don't have to, but like they elect to, and it just slows down the pace of the class so much. And it's just all around not a good experience because it's on Zoom, like I said. At least in class, when it's in person, people have shame and they don't ask stupid questions. They just go home and wallow in their misery or try to figure it out. But here over Zoom, people can ask questions anonymously, so that really slows down the pace of the class. It's twice now that like we haven't hit the amount of topics we're supposed to cover per day, and basically our schedule's falling behind. Which honestly I wouldn't care that much about, except it's multivariable calculus, which I know will get difficult as time goes on. And like we need all the time we can get to understand the concepts rather than answering questions like what date is our midterm? Like read the syllabus. Oh my god. Sorry for ranting, just stupid questions really get to me. I could never be a professor. Then I have another couple other classes. I have a biomechanics course, which is very time consuming. It's the most hours of lecture that I have per week. I have a computer engineering course, which I'm fine with the content, but I do hate the way it's taught. The professor just lectures the entire time, which might sound stupid, but like, I don't think it's the best way to teach computer engineering, like coding courses, just because we need to see actual code and like see how it works rather than just like being explained. The rest of my courses are slipping my mind right now. Oh, and I have a thermodynamics course, similar to like first semester of last year, to be honest. So I believe it should be easier because I actually quite liked my thermodynamics course in first semester. So yeah, and then I have a cells class. That one's gonna be tough, but it's okay. So those are my classes. Saw some of my old friends, like hung out with them a bit. But it definitely does seem to be like new year. Like biomedical engineering is my specialization, and basically none of the people I knew last year really went into it. So it's just new friends, new everything. Over the summer, I had an online course I had to take for biomedical engineering, and I like know some people from there, and I'm not like I've met them in person finally. So yeah, I guess those would be my best friends at the moment. But just figuring it out, it's only been a week of lectures. Just everything's changing every day. So yeah, like man, even in freaking the places where my lectures are held has changed like at least twice now. So I can't even make like a schedule in my head because like it will just change at any moment. Yeah, tomorrow I have lectures until 7 p.m. So it's my most busy day of the week, but that's okay. Um, Honestly, nothing else comes to mind to just talk about. I just figured I'd give a quick update, and it wasn't even that quick. Just figured say, hey, I'm back. Uh, I'll make these videos from time to time. I'm gonna aim for once a week, but I don't know what will happen. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Okay, quick intervention here. I was like editing my video for like the one that you just finished watching, and then I got curious, like actually when I stopped uploading, so I went to look over it, and it turns out it had been just the first day after having met my AppSec group. Oh boy, my AppSec group this needs to be talked about. My AppSec group last semester was absolute dog shit. Like there's no other way to put it. It was just absolutely terrible. Like it got so bad that like at the end of the year I went and I had a talk with like the professors. I'm like, all right, here are the edit histories, here are the messages of me asking them to do work, here's the work that they did, and like I'm like, it's nonsensical work, or it's just plain wrong, or they just plain didn't do anything. My AppSec group was just absolutely terrible last year. So let's talk about the final project. The final project was where the shit just hit the fan. The first project was generally okay. Okay, I just said let's talk about the final project and switch topics. But this is a story, you know. After when I met them on the first day, like when I met all six of them finally, like I think we all just agreed that we're like, hey, if anybody has any issues within the group, just speak out, and everyone let's make sure we all do our work. You know, everyone's like, yeah, of course, right? That was all generally agreed upon. Then the first project comes along, and only 3 of us realistically do it. Like 3.5, I'll say. Like one of the guys also put in some work, but like 2 of the other guys just sort of like basically AWOL. You know, they just didn't do like jack shit. So at that point, like I emailed the course coordinator. I'm like, hey, we're having issues. These guys aren't doing work. They're like, okay, we understand. We'll have one of your professors talk with you during like a studio. So we had that happen. The professor came. He like went around in a circle, asked everyone, so how do you feel like about the course load or like the workload and distributing it? And it was funny because he started on the opposite end of me, so I was going to be last in terms of saying it. And the first 2 people who went were the 2 guys who didn't do jack shit last time. So like he's asking them like, how do you feel about the work? And they were like, oh, it was good. They're like, yeah, like everyone did work, it was fair. Then like 2 other guys went, and then finally the guy before me goes, he's like, yeah, it could definitely be improved. He's saying like it wasn't really fair. And then like my turn came, I'm like, it was abysmal. Like, and I just like called out everyone who didn't do work right then and there. Aggressive, but perhaps, but these are big projects that take many hours, and when people aren't doing work, I take that very personally. So the professor obviously like we had a discussion, blah 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 blah. Basically, it was just that like everyone, make sure you check your messages and make sure you come to all team meetings and do all your work. Then the second project came and went. The second project was more of an essay. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was like a research paper-esque assignment. So this one was a lot easier to distribute amongst the group, simply because it's an essay. You either write it or you don't. You know, there's no like physical components, physical work to actually be done. So that came and went, and it was marginal. Like it was better. Everyone at least put in work on this. Like I will admit, the work that was put in was not good, and it had to be like rewritten and like edited a lot, but work was put in, so it's okay. And that came and went, whatever. But then the third project comes. I mean, the third project was the most difficult out of all 6 I had last year, like by a landslide. We had to use an Excel spreadsheet to make like business decisions on rain catchment systems, which includes like sanitizing it, the catchment area, how many meters of piping we'll need, and like what size piping. It was a massive Excel project. It was just really, really bad. And like I looked at it. Oh, and yeah, like for example, like the document they gave us, like describing the project, was 50 pages long. So, and when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, no way anyone's reading all that. It turns out I ended up reading, in fact, every single page on that thing because every single page actually had like important information. Um, yes. So right away I looked at the project. I'm like, damn, this is a lot of work. So I got started like a month earlier than like realistically, or not realistically, than most people would have, I would say. Just because I really want to get it out of the way. I knew like finals would be challenging. At this point, I got the gist of it. I'm like, okay, schoolwork is difficult. Like let's get this big project out of the way. Um, I started on the Excel spreadsheet. I put in like 2-3 hours just by myself. I worked on it. I sent my group a message. I'm like, hey guys, I just put in some work on this. Just like got the layout more or less. Turns out it was less. There was a lot more work to be done, but still, I made a dent in it. I messaged my group. I'm like, hey, I just did some work. Please contribute and like help build this. And as everyone like chips in a bit, it would just build up, and we're able to have like a project done. Everyone's like, yeah, sure. Like one of them's like, God bless you, Ilya, for like you putting in this work, because everyone like knew the project was gonna be bad. 2 weeks happens, nobody does anything. Me neither, to be honest. But like I've already done my part at least, and it's not due that soon. But I had some free time, I guess, or I don't know why. I just wanted to work on it, so I just put in some more time. Just like it just kept adding stuff. Really, there was just so many equations to write. It was just all around a lot of information. At this point, finally, the course also like basically required us to start working on this seriously, right? So the other guys should like show up and start doing work, and yet they're still not, right? Like I messaged them again, I'm like, hey guys, like we're getting closer to the due date. We still have like a few weeks to spare, but I'm like, I want to see some work done on this. I think this message I was actually left on red. I'm not sure. It has been a while. By all 5 of my teammates, to be honest. Like, maybe the first couple projects, I had a couple teammates that like I liked and they were doing work, but this last project, no one was working on the Excel sheet. Then I work on it for like throughout the week. I add more to it, and at this point, it's a lot of work. It really is, and no one other than me has done anything on it. I apologize. I got my timeline slightly confused. During this week of me working on it, we had a studio class where everyone was supposed to work on it, and the work was distributed. Everyone contributed to it in one way or another. And that was like it. That was Thursday. Then like Friday night or Saturday morning, whichever day I got to it, I went over the work they did, and it was just nonsense. Plus, I looked at one of them. Like it's a lot of work. No matter what, like how bad their work is, it's still a lot. And I looked at one of them, and like it was the edit histories were literally 1 minute apart. Like it went from being completely blank to bam, done, right? So obviously he like cheated and copied it from someone else. But I looked at it, it was all wrong and like unusable. And like at that point I was just so frustrated with the group for like not being willing to do work, or even like or do it right or do their own work. I made a copy of it and I just started working on the project privately. I'm like, hey, I would just leave it as it is. Let's see if anybody else takes initiative. I just like I knew I was gonna be submitting the project anyways. So I just started working on my own, just completely like off the book, just all my work to myself, because it was a lot of hours. Like I put in a solid 20 plus hours into this project. This is not deserving. This project was not deserving of this much work, but it is what it is. So yeah, but then like finally one of my teammates, like actually my favorite guy from last year by far, he like a week or so, like week and a half before it's due, he goes to check it out. He's like, hey, I did some work on it. He said it's very confusing. He's like, I can't really help you with this. It's very, very difficult, which yes it was, which is why I'm asking for help. And their response is, no, sorry, it's too difficult, can't help. But but at least he checked in on it. He did do a bit of work like on the original, right? Not my personal one. And like his work was actually correct. He even noticed actually a mistake I had. in my original. But by the time he noticed the mistake, I had fixed it in my personal copy. But that's besides the point. And you know what? I like the guy, so I'm like, I told him privately, I'm like, hey, don't worry about that one. That's not even the real version. I have my own personal version that is 85-90% complete. And that was true. I was basically mostly done with the project at that point. I'm like, just make the presentation for it, you know? Like, just do that. Then, like, his friend, basically, part like from my group. Sorry. My teammate, who I liked, his friend was in our group as well. Like, I didn't like his friend that much, but he also did work, and like basically he told him about it. So basically it was 3 of us versus 3 slackers who haven't done anything for the project. And at that point, us 3 just privately worked on the project, and we like finished it up. By that point, like, I knew that the other team wasn't gonna be able to finish in time, even if they started now. And I knew it was going to be a team submission, and I really did not want these guys getting credit for doing no work. So I gathered up like all the evidence. I went and I had a meeting with a professor. I'm like, all right, here are the edit histories. Here are the messages asking for help. Here is how this guy did his work in 1 minute, and it being wrong as well. You know, I just laid it all out flat. I'm like, I really do not want these guys to get credit for my work. Obviously, the professor didn't really like that, or you know, the professor was very understanding. He's like, yeah, I get that these guys didn't do any work because it's irrefutable proof, but nonetheless, I don't have the authority to just punish my team like that, because technically it's not due yet. You know, they could be starting like 2 days before it's due, and it's not really the professor's fault for that either. He's like, but he did ask me to send like a document with all the proof. I made like a Google Doc page that was like 12 pages long with everything necessary there. And you know, I thought that would be the end of it. I'm like, no matter what, these guys will get punished in one way or another. Like, their grade will be lowered or something like that, or maybe our group might even be split up. But then Friday night at like 8 p.m, right, 4 hours before it's due, these fuckers send a message through our group chat saying, you guys, that like me especially, right, but like us 3, the ones who have been working on our own personal project, they're like, you guys have been very discriminatory of us. We have really been trying to help and work on this project, and you guys didn't let us. We will be submitting our own project, and we'll be emailing the professors about your attitude throughout like this project. Like, yo, I read that message, and I swear, like, I had no idea how to react. I was so stupefied and dumbfounded. I was just like, to this day, honestly, I don't know what I could have possibly said in response to that statement. It was such nonsense. But, whatever. But yeah, they submitted their own project. They like emailed it to professors or whatever. Like, we submitted ours through the team submission form. Like, I made a comment that's like, hey, these guys did not do work, don't give them credit, or something like that. I don't know. Personally, I don't know how things ended, because basically by the time the final project was created, the semester had ended. So I really don't know how they did or whatever. All I do know is that my project, so projects were graded on like a success, like performance base. The professor's version of performance was like 87%. The highest one by students was 85%, and mine was like 84.1% or like 83.9. Like, it was basically right there. So my spreadsheet was damn good. And it was done completely by me. It really was. And I'm proud of myself. I still am, because it really was a lot of work. Like, groups of 6 were working on it and couldn't figure it out, you know? I just put in the hours, the time, and just figured everything out and got a good result. And I'm happy with that. But man, my team last semester was just absolutely terrible. Like, honestly, if those guys just didn't care the entire semester, like, maybe that would have given me some peace of mind. But then it's that final message when they said that we were discriminating them and not letting them work, when they were like trying to. That man, this will stay with me for life, because I have never seen like such stupidity be like said by anyone. Oh man. Yeah. Apologies. I had to share this. Like, this is a story from last year that just has to be put out on the internet, you know? Like, I'm not gonna name drop anyone. I'm sure if you like dig hard enough, you could probably find out the names of my teammates. Please don't. But yeah, that was just terrible, terrible team. Like, you know, maybe like in my first Upside 100 team, there was some people I didn't like and some people I didn't get along with, but at least generally everyone did minimal work. At least, you know, they at least showed up to the team meetings. They were like present. They could have been useless, but they were present, you know. Like, that showed they cared at least in some way. These guys were just AWOL, and then the night before they sent that message. Oh, it gives me nightmares when I think about it. So yeah, I had to share that. Apologies for the rant. It was a very long rant, but it was a very bad team, and I think everything I said was justified. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna end the video here. I really hope no one's watched until the end, because those are 30 minutes of your life that you'll never get back. So yeah, thank you. Bye bye.